Ed got his first deal in 6 months. I got mine in 3 weeks. Everyone's story's different. There's no, this is the time frame it's going to take. And that's what these people online, they don't tell nobody that. So we want to give you the raw. Like, this is really what it is, and either you're with it or you're not.
Have you ever had an idea that was so clear it was like a 3D movie? Have you ever told a friend about the idea and they told you, wow, if you could only make that into a business, you would be rich? Sound familiar? Welcome to Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter, with my co-host, Roosevelt Williams III, and we're here to help you take action. This is free information. We only ask one thing: build a strong foundation and mindset. We have insight to help you get started. Most of us just need a push. What's happening? Episode 49, Knowledge to Currency. I'm your host, Senator Porter. Welcome to Knowledge to Currency, where knowledge is power and currency is king. Today we have Ed and Dante from Creative REI. How you gentlemen doing today?
How you doing, Senator Porter?
Good. Lots changed with your business since the last time we've been together, right?
A little bit. We had a smaller crew, and we've kind of built into almost like a squad / army, and trying to build a community now. We got like a whole community that we're working on like nationwide. So yeah, crazy after watching the last video from like now.
Right? And now Ed's your right-hand man, right?
Yeah, this is my little ride or die. Yeah. Why don't you tell me your story, Ed?
What up?
Yeah.
It's a pleasure being here today. I really appreciate it, Nikia.
Yeah, no problem.
Damn, gotta go way back now. Well, we've been at it for pretty much a whole year now, ever since.
It's our anniversary.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so just pretty much a little bit about me. I went to Cal State San Marcos here in, San Marcos, obviously San Diego County. And pretty much, I was doing, my business degree, business management and administration. It was cool. I was getting pretty steady grades, B's and C's, Wasn't really an honor kid, but, I was out there hustling as well.
Right.
Either doing 2 jobs at a time or, just finding something quick to do real quick, legally, of course. But, during college, I was also in a fraternity. Shout out to Kappa Sigma, class of 2019. But had my little bit of fun, even as a kid, just doing adult things at a younger age. Even growing up as a single child, I didn't really have no one to really look up to or take care of. So I just kind of, always did my own thing. During college, I found a little bit about wholesaling, real estate investing, those TikToks everyone sees around, typical how someone would get into real estate. Kind of dabbled into it, did my own little research, but never really made a single phone call. Kind of steered away from it, kind of went towards the solar sales route. I actually got, I got an interview from this company here in San Diego, did my thing. Wasn't really too fascinated about it. I know there were, some people in the company that were doing it for several years, doing door-to-door, whatever case may be. Did a few deals, which just wasn't meant for me. Not necessarily the sales aspect, just the business model didn't really, just didn't make much sense to me. So I kind of just I went back to real estate. That's just how I met Vic, actually, was during solar sales. I went up to his door. Shout out Vic Maria. It was like his birthday yesterday, right?
Yeah,
2 days ago.
happy birthday, Vic.
Went to his door. It's a really nice house, fully, furnished. Everything was like pristine, right? Nicest house in the block, pretty much. And this kid came out of the house. He's like, hey, how can I help you guys? Pretty much did my own little solar pitch, this and that. He's like, yeah, I technically own the house, but not really. This is kind of what I'm doing right now. Here's my info, follow me, yada, yada, yada. Kind of looked at his content. I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of dope, right? Fix and flip, whatever, this and that. He's got like his own little squad. So I did my own research, right? With my solar sales office, there's actually like a brokerage down the street from it that was also like doing their own little fix and flip investing. And shout out to Henish. That's where, I saw his brokerage. Little did I know, Vic was part of that brokerage. I'm like, oh shit, I remember you. So I went through like their Tuesday meetings they have. They're really informative. I really appreciate Hennish giving me the opportunity, of course.
Shout out to Hennish and Calhoun Co.
Hell yeah. I really appreciate it. The amount of information was just so powerful, and being it free, you can't really find that anywhere.
Sure.
Especially with like a well-known brokerage. I'm sure they have like their own criterias and requirements to join their squad. He just opened his arms wide open and be like, yeah, let's get you rolling.
Right.
Started going to his meetups, and that's where I met Dante.
Right.
It's the very first meetup with Hennish. It was like during the summer, say last year, May.
I think Hennish had me come do creative for him and just like speak on Sub 2.
I was there too. That's where I met him.
No, I think you came to mine. But yes, I originally thought I met him at my meetup, but I think it was Hennish's meetup that he invited me to do the creative at. Right?
Okay.
So,
I thought I met you at Hennish's thing.
Well, it was at Hennish's spot. So we're...
Oh, but it was your event.
Right.
Got it.
So, because he does the venues.
Got it.
Showrooms, nice.
Yeah. He has a event space.
Got the good setup.
Right. So pretty much that was kind of like my first, meetup with like a bunch of investors, and everyone's talking about ARVs and mortgages, and everyone's interest rate. I didn't know what the hell is going on, right? I'm like, okay, like.
Real quick, how old are you?
I'm 22 now.
Okay. So
Nice.
for the record.
So you're 21 then.
Yeah, I was 21 then. And that's when I was getting to know everyone, like, oh, I do fix and flips. I'm a realtor and this and that. That's when I spoke to Dante. He's, more of the wholesale and fix and flip type of guy. So I'm like, yeah, let me get your number. I don't think I texted you. I found out about you on my Instagram because it came up on my suggested because of Hennish and Vic and all that.
Nice.
I gave you a follow. I think I slid in your DM actually.
Nice.
It worked though. It worked.
I slid in my DMs.
Got some DM experience.
Now we got our first year anniversary.
But yeah, just from there, it's kind of just been history, Just we've been struggling the first few months getting my first deal with Dante.
How long did it take you?
6 months.
What was your first deal? How much you make?
Like 17,000.
17,000 your first
Hey,
deal.
am I interviewing or you?
I just gotta make sure. Okay, I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah, but that was a pretty decent deal. And just from that, I had to reinvest everything with their mentorships, going to these other meetups in different states, investing in marketing. It's been a ride so far. Yeah.
What are some common mistakes that wholesalers make in the industry that you see? Because now you guys are training new people that were like you.
Right. Common mistakes that I've seen. I feel like people, they see these gurus. They're like, oh, let's make 20K off this one deal. All it takes is getting this to this and that, right?
Right.
But the reality is not every deal can close, right? So there's just so much to the back end where it's just not about, getting a deal and assigning it. It's more of like the relationship base, getting your marketing steady, getting, the manpower to, structure the whole thing together. And for most times, you don't really see people in the industry doing the whole business by themselves. They always have a team backing them up, but there's the disposition side and acquisition side, TC work, so making sure you want to be in this industry, especially in wholesaling, you got to make sure your system and processes are in place as well as your sales skills, right? I'm very new to sales. Dante, it's like 20 years into sales. So, we balance very well on, the business aspect. And
yeah, his operations are on point. Like there's stuff I couldn't do operationally. I'm like not very good at it, but I can sell some stuff where he's got these systems down where he knows how to like put them together. So that's kind of how we like complement each other for sure.
So what's a common practice or best practice that you use now for the back office side?
Right.
So I get a deal under contract. What should I do next?
Right. So at the end of the day, it kind of just depends on the exit strategy, whether you want to just do a signing, if you want to do creative. I'm not very good at creative, going to be honest with you. That's why, I just kind of refer him to Dante when I do come across him. But assigning him, also depending on the market, some buyers are very specific on where they want to buy at. So we just kind of have to narrow down our options and see what's the best strategy just to, to get it to closing table.
So you like traditional wholesale and then you're trying to get more into creative.
Right,
be
right.
like Dante.
Pretty much, right.
Nice. So now with the market starting to tighten up, are you being more flexible? Are you finding people that are more flexible with trying to work a deal where everyone gets paid? Or
Yeah, I mean, we've been noticing some institutional buyers are coming up now, so that's some good news. Buyers are still kind of scared to fix and flip. They kind of want to buy in the lower end of things.
Super conservative.
sure.
So at the end of the day, it's just relationship based, getting to know your buyers and know what they're looking for, and if you have what they need, then it's a perfect marriage.
Are you guys starting to partner up more with realtors?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What's some ways that a wholesaler out there could partner with a realtor? 'Cause usually they're on the opposite ends of the table.
So there's a deal we just did in Oceanside. It's a triplex. I'm actually keeping it. I'm not even wholesaling it because it's such a good deal. It was actually wholesaled. Well, it was like marketed out as a wholesale deal quite often. And then it was listed twice. And nobody could sell this property. And so a newer wholesaler brought it to me and was like, hey, do you do unpermitted units? And as soon as he told me unpermitted units, I already knew it was this property because everybody's seen this property, right? And I'm sure like 322 Garfield, everybody's gonna watch this and be like, oh yeah, I seen that deal.
Right.
The guy's also a realtor as well. So a shout out Anchor, by the way. Anchor, yeah. So Anchor brought us that deal. He's a licensed realtor.
It's a strong name.
It is. Yeah. And he lives in Oceanside, but he's got a British accent. So it's like only British Oceansider. No. So he brought it to us. We were able to turn it into a creative deal that the seller not only liked, but it was a win-win situation for everybody, right? So we get a property. We gave him asking. We bought it for $0 down. So it was a $1 million triplex for no money down. We just pay the closing costs, and then we're taking over the current mortgage on his property, and as well as paying him interest over 30 years. So now, all he wanted to do in the very beginning was just recover his money. He's now recovering his money, and he's making money on his money on top of it. So now we got a cash flowing asset that we got from a realtor who is trying to wholesale. One of my biggest deals was brought to me by a realtor. What else? I feel like there's some other ones I can't think of right now.
So just kind of to put a bow on that. So instead of doing wholesale where the person buys it 70 to 75% under the asking price, then they put work into it, then they resell it, and then whatever they make off profit, you walk away. What you did with this person, you said, okay, I know you're asking price, and because of these permits or issue, what I would like to do is you let me take over the mortgage and make payments to you.
Right.
And everything stays as is. We've signed an agreement.
Yep.
And then my benefit is I get the interest rate that you have. I take over the property. Your benefit is you'll receive payments. There could be tax advantages to that.
Right.
And you don't have to get the banks involved or any of that thing. That's the creative.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's kind of a really unique creative. A lot of people aren't used to it. So I know anytime we do try to present it to somebody who's never done one before, they're a little skeptical.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's been working out for the people that do go along with it. So it's, being open-minded is really big. You got to think outside the box, especially in an industry where interest rates are like 7-8%.
Yeah, 7.5 on 30-year right now.
That's insane. Why would I do 7.5%, 8.5% when I can negotiate with the seller for 4 to 5, and as opposed to putting all this money in the big bank's pocket, I'm now putting it into the little guy, the seller,
right?
And I'm getting a cash flowing asset. It's kind of keeping it like the little people together. We're not like a big corporation. We're a mom and pop shop, but we have big dreams. So
then does the actual owner, they have their own attorney, or do you guys have them?
Either or, yeah. We could provide one for you. This one actually had an attorney, and they had to review the documents, and we went back and forth before we got it. Matter of fact, if they got an attorney available, bring them on board. I'll let my attorney and your attorney, we'll come together so we can come and have something that, you know, works for both of us. So, you know, that way it's fair all across the board. I think a lot in this industry, you get a lot of people that try to do, you know, shady stuff, sketchy stuff. And it's what gives wholesaling or just investing a bad name in general. For us, we're very transparent. We let you know what we're doing. We're here to make money. We're not a charity, right? At the same time, we want to create a win-win. So if I can make a little bit of money and you still get what you want, win-win situation.
We got another question for Ed because this is the Ed show.
Yeah.
What trends are you seeing in the wholesale industry right now, and how do you stay ahead of the curve?
For us, it's just been, you know, just having all your resources and having all your exit strategies in order, because we've been realizing that I think like 4 out of 6 deals that we currently have this month, they're all creative.
Right.
So it's kind of hard, especially with, you know, how saturated wholesaling is now, just to, you know, look for that all cash deal. Even buyers are, you know, sellers are figuring out like, oh, wholesalers, like, fuck, you know, I don't want to deal with wholesalers. I want to deal with direct end buyers. So having that creative structure kind of gives them a little bit of a, you know, less of a, you know, sketchiness in a way, instead of, you know, working with the middleman, like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. You know, he's either going to be an end buyer or he's structuring it in a way where it's a win-win situation. So for me, I think it's just having all your exit strategies in order and being able to, you know, take it to the closing table.
What are some things you guys do to make yourself be more legitimate than the, you know, someone that just got an LLC and they're trying to act like they're a big investor, versus like you guys who've actually done it, you close deals? How do you, I guess, separate yourselves?
You asking me or you asking Ed?
Both.
I think, well, personally, it's just being transparent. It's letting just the seller know everything, you know, on the back end of things. And instead of pretending to be a buyer, just be honest with them, right? Like, hey, you know, I would buy it at this price personally, but I may know someone else that could buy it at this price, right? You know, it's just pretty much letting them know, hey, I'm going to sign this deal. Just, you know, trust. There is a trusting process into this that, you know, you have to you have to let the seller, you know about, like, hey, this is not going to work if you're not, you know, you don't trust me. So giving me that liberty is just going to, you know, be able to make this work. Right. Another thing is just branding. You know, we do have a website. Looks pretty decent, I'd say. We also trying to push a lot of content out on our personal page. So just giving them our socials or whatever they need to look us up, it's all in their hands.
Wait, your social security number?
No, socials.
Social media.
What?
It's like a 22-year-old thing. We're too old for this mumbo jumbo. What are you saying, boy?
Well, what about you? What's some other things you like to add to that?
You know, Ed really hit it on the head with, you know, transparency, number one. Number two, my approach to every seller is I'm not this big corporation trying to buy your house. I'm a small mom and pop shop trying to feed my family by building my portfolio, maybe doing a fix and flip. And if I'm not going to buy it, we do so much business nationwide that we know a lot of people that might be willing to pay a little bit more than us. So you want to go that route, we could do that. There's so many different ways, but at the same time, he's right. The trust aspect is everything. We do get people that are skeptical, and we'll tell them straight up, it sounds like you don't trust us, so I wouldn't even want to move forward with you without that trust factor. Like, if you don't trust us, we're not going to do that. And then, you know, everyone will tell you this, man, sales and marketing is everything for your business. So we just focus on sales and marketing. And through that, we've got volume on top of the fact that we're kind of building a little bit of a, what would you say, like a community as well as, you know, a brand. People are starting to know who we are. They're reaching out. They're bringing us deals. And a lot of these deals are not deals, right? So it's how can we turn those into a deal? And that's what's been really, really working for us, just as the mom and pop shop, is getting outside of the box, as well as just being, again, transparent.
And then you guys have, I guess, like a community that's a part coaching, brainstorming. Let's talk about that. You do like Zoom calls?
Yeah. So it's back when on the last podcast, we were starting the Creative REI. Now we've actually kind of gotten the community growing, and it's nationwide. Matter of fact, most people have office with overhead. We have our office wherever we want it. Like we spent 3 weeks in Florida, and while in Florida met actually the bartender at one of the hotels we were staying at happened to be a licensed realtor with a lead that turned into a wholesale deal that was like a $30K assignment. Nice. Paid for the trip, and then like after that we went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Nice.
So our overhead is low, so I think a lot of because of that we can pay people a little bit more, take care of your people, and I just noticed when you take care of your people take care of you.
Of course.
And, because of that alone, we built up quite a bit of a community even outside of California. So Texas, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Arizona, stuff like that. So, we're not just here in San Diego, we're nationwide.
Well, that's the thing. Like what people don't get, if you make sure people make money, you make money.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. You should always make sure everyone's taken care of. Everyone feels they got a fair deal. They may not like it, but they say, hey, at least you were fair. With the information you give me, how I was compensated. When you get that reputation of like shorting people.
Yeah, it's going to go around. What goes around comes around. I'm a huge fan of that. And then we do these Zooms where people pay a subscription to join, but the subscription comes with a few things. Number one, if you have some leads and you're having trouble closing them, bring them to us. We'll close them and we'll break them down for you. If you don't have any leads, we'll give you something to generate leads with. And so the cost of the subscription is going to be way less than if you were to pay for these systems and process yourself. So you're saving yourself money on the systems and process. And the way I look at our Zooms is the virtual office, right? So as opposed to having especially in California, you got a gas car. You don't want to drive to the office every day. Jump on the Zoom, come work with us on the Zoom. And we're constantly just doing deals all day.
Right.
All day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Next question. What advice would you have for a new realtor just starting to work with a wholesaler?
I'm going to tell you what somebody told me. Find the deals and everything else will fall in place. So we're kind of like a lead gen company. We're not, I guess we are a wholesale company, but it's lead gen. All we do is just generate leads all day and figure out a way to turn them into something. So if you're going to be a brand new realtor starting out, do that. Start working on building your pipeline, and don't be worried about the fact that maybe your pipeline's taking too long, because at the end of the day, that pipeline, it's supposed to take that long, right? As you start building up your funnel and your pipeline, deals are just going to start closing, and then you got more stuff in the pipeline. So with us, our pipeline's too big. Like we have too many deals to deal with that we can't keep up with them. So we need more manpower. So if you're wanting to come squad up with us, let us know.
So what's some ways they can join the Zoom call? Like what's the process and how does that work?
So if you're interested in joining, you're going to go to @Creative REI on Instagram. You're going to write them a DM. You're going to put Zoom in the DM, and then either Ed or one of our colleagues will reach out and they'll kind of give you the rundown exactly what it comes. We'll even give you a day or two on the Zoom so you can see what we do. And then also we're hosting a meetup September 20th. Right. The Creative REI presents, what did you call it? You renamed it, huh?
Along the lines though, it's like how to get your first deal pretty
It's
much.
how to get your first deal, but the way Ed did it, I liked it better. So we kept it Ed's way. But essentially, we're going to give you our blueprint on how you find deals. Like that's the biggest thing, right? Everyone's wondering how they find deals. Whether it's the old school way doing mailers, stuff like that. We do a lot of digital stuff, a lot of big data. Me having a telecom background, big data is huge. And so we use big data a lot. And we're going to go over all that stuff when you come to the meetup. It's a free meetup. We're going to pay for food, alcohol, if you guys want to have a beer. And then just be ready to learn. Bring your student cap, have some notes to take, come reach out, connect with people. Again, Creative REI is meant for two things and two things only. It's connect and educate. So if you can learn something, if you can connect with somebody that can help you win, our whole goal is a success.
Nice. Very nice. What was I going to say? What I will say with the whole Zoom calls that you guys do, it makes people be accountable because now you're in a whole group of people. You're hearing people actually make calls, make offers, help them overcome objectives. If you want to role play, they help you with that stuff. And a lot of the coaches will have you pay for that stuff. For a lot more than what you guys are charging.
We try to make it affordable because we know a lot of people don't have money to come in on this. The one thing I'm going to say, though, if you don't have money and you got time, you're going to need to put in the time. There's not going to be any excuses. You got to put in the time. That's what it is. Now, you got money, you might be able to shorten that time, but at the end of the day, it's only failure if you quit. So, keep sticking it out until you do it. I mean, Ed got his first deal in 6 months. I got mine in 3 weeks. Everyone's story's different. There's no, this is the time frame it's going to take. And that's what these people online, they don't tell nobody that. So we want to give you the raw. Like, this is really what it is, and either you're with it or you're not. And if you're not with it, that's fine. But if you are, come join us, and we're going to make sure you go with us.
How do you balance the need to offer competitive pricing when there needs to be a maintained profitability?
Ask me that question again.
How do you make it, I guess, like a more
attractive
appealing,
deal?
yeah, for somebody?
We're not always the highest, right? And so I tell them that, hey, just because you get the highest deal doesn't mean they'll close, because that's what happened. We had a Dallas deal. They were like 20K more than us, and they ended up not closing, and then ended up going with us for our deal for 20K less because we stuck to our number, and we obviously know how to evaluate our numbers. So that's number one, is that follow up. Just because they didn't take your offer doesn't mean they won't, because for all you know, they won't close, right? And I'm not saying that always happens. There are times where it does, but knowing what your numbers are, number one. Number two, we've been doing really good with creative innovation. So the typical wholesalers have to like super lowball people, where we'll come up a little bit higher, but it's going to take us a little bit more time, and then we got to do some stuff to the property. So we'll even go as far as doing something creative and working on the house. That's what makes us stand out from everybody else, is we're doing outside the box ideas. And I had one guy who was like, man, how long have you been doing this for? He's like, I like the way you carry yourself. And it's really just being honest and upfront. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a very upfront individual, and I can kind of come off, super, like, I guess, what's the word I'm thinking of? Abrupt or abrupt or whatever you call it. But
Blunt.
Blunt. There you go. I come up very blunt, but I think my bluntness is what works for me uniquely, because not everybody can be that blunt and still be able to pull off deals, right?
For people that don't know or understand, what's innovation?
Innovation essentially is, instead of just doing cash buyers, you can bring in traditional financing, right? So for the longest time, wholesaling to traditional financing, whether it be conventional or FHA, was not possible because the banks would not accept your assignments. And so this is a way for traditional financing to come in and essentially buy your wholesale deal and close on it that way. And by doing that, you're sometimes able to come up a little bit higher than the traditional wholesale deal. The way I look at it is, if I'm going to buy something wholesale, I use hard money. Hard money is 20% down, 10% interest only, with some original, whatever, the 10, 11%. I don't know who's getting what, but let's just say hypothetically, right? Now, I'm saving a lot of that money by you letting me do the going in, bringing the ad value in there, and then selling it for the equity difference, okay? As opposed to me putting the money in the lender's pocket, let me put it in yours. So that's pretty much it. It's almost like wholesaling, except for wholesaling with traditional lenders.
Okay. So then you do novations as well.
We do, yeah. We've done quite a few novations. Shout out to my boy Rich Wonders. He's the novation king.
What's happening, Rich?
Yeah,
In
Rich
Arizona.
Wonders really opened our eyes to it. We saw some other people talking novations, but he's like the actual, like, he's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like people that are like action takers, where you see them actually doing it. They're just not talking about it on the screen. And so, yeah. And honestly, like, I kind of look as Rich as like a mentor for myself, because he's taught us a lot of stuff. And so now it's just a tool in our tool belt.
Nice. This one's for Ed. Where do you see as the future of the wholesale industry, and how do you plan on adapting to the changes of the market conditions?
Damn.
That's a good one. That's a good question. Controversy.
Well, first of all, wholesaling has been around for,
Longer
forever,
than
right?
21 years.
right. So I don't think wholesaling will ever go away. I think it's something that, it's just going to stick around until, whatever happens. But I think wholesaling is going to get a lot harder for sure. Especially with, all the creative things that are coming out, especially with novations. At the end of the day, I think it's one of those things that if you're not doing it correctly, obviously you're not going to end up at the closing table. But as long as you're, not necessarily following the rules, but being professional about it, letting know the seller what's going on, letting know what the buyer what's going on, especially with title companies, if you're not being transparent with anyone, it's just going to fall apart. Just being like not friends, but creating a great relationship with your title company as well. Just, making sure they won't just drop the ball. Just making sure everything is just aligned. It's going to turn out perfectly fine. But yeah, I don't think wholesaling will ever go away.
So you're saying transparency, obviously letting everybody know exactly what you're trying to do to help them.
Right.
And as far as like, my opinion, I do believe some regulations will come, because bad business is bad business.
That's
so,
what I was thinking.
Regulation.
I mean?
Yeah,
for
there
sure.
may be regulations, but I don't think it will actually go away, because I don't think legally it could.
Right. Because there's a lot of realtors out there that don't really like working with wholesalers, and I totally get it. Like even myself, some wholesalers can be very, sketchy.
Well, a lot of them can. A majority of the industry's got a lot of sketchy cats.
But realtors can be too, and loan officers.
True.
So
Right.
We actually just got one today like that.
Yeah,
Right.
unfortunately, in this industry, I've been in so long, the bar is set so low that when somebody's ethical and they do things the right way, you're like shocked, which is sad. But I've always like led that way, just because the first time I ever got a loan, people didn't explain to me what to do, and then I started reading through the fine print, and they do it to everybody from credit cards to car loans to obviously homes. So I don't want to put someone in that position, so I always took lending very seriously when I actually did loans. So I believe that there will be regulations that will come out, but I don't think it'll go away.
Right.
What do you think?
Agree.
So, I saw Pace Morby talk about this as far as regulation. Essentially, some states, they won't allow, you got to close on the property.
Right.
Or you got to be a licensed realtor in some states. I don't know exactly what states it is, but you got to be licensed to be able to wholesale now. If I close on the property and I want to resell it, you can't stop that, right? So we've done creative deals where we're like, hey, let me just hold the paper on this. I'm going to give you some money for time, and we're going to do our thing, and then we'll get you the rest of the money, and it's all secured by, liens, and same way the bank does it. So, if you're a brand new wholesaler, again, I think I said this on the last show, don't try to do it by yourself because you want to try to make all this money. Squad up with somebody and watch. It's somebody that does it the right way. Squad up with somebody the right way and then watch them do it. And like, don't be, afraid to eat together. And then from there, just build, because that's what me and Ed did. We built together.
Right.
And so now we got a whole community and, people watching us, seeing what we're doing, and we're making an impact. So, that's the goal.
Exactly. And like, if you're trying to learn it all on YouTube by yourself, good luck. It's not as easy, and every state is different. There's different regulations, so I would recommend that you team up with people and teamwork makes the dream works, in the words
Straight
of
up.
Snoop Dogg, right?
Yeah. You can't do this business by yourself.
Right.
You cannot do this
I mean,
business
it
by
won't be
yourself.
as fun, that's for sure.
I mean, it's not gonna. It's almost non-existent. I mean, I'm sure you'll pull it off, but it's not scalable.
So we're almost out of time. Ed, do you have anything you'd like to tell the world?
I'd say just go follow Creative REI. That's where we're going to be posting most of our content. Especially, I think we're going to start a YouTube channel soon. So
Okay.
stay tuned. We
Follow Ed for guru content. He's gonna be your next guru coming.
Yeah, what's your handles on Instagram? Ed?
I'm mostly on Instagram, so it'd be 11nava. It's pretty simple. Kind of just post a little bit about my life. I was at Disneyland yesterday with my family, so I was just out there,
It's a normal kid.
Yeah.
It's a normal kid doing real estate at 22.
Yeah.
No big deal.
But we do a lot of travel stuff. Like Dante said, we're at Puerto Rico, Florida. We're thinking about going to Phoenix soon.
We're looking
probably
at
this
Phoenix.
week.
We can't do
But,
Phoenix. We can't do Phoenix this
Right.
time. We wanted to, but we had some other prior engagements. But Texas again,
Yeah, totally.
just not
Texas.
San Antonio.
Oh my God, San Antonio. That was my
It's
first
an
time.
inside joke. It's an
Right.
inside
This-
joke about San Antonio, but maybe
Right.
Dallas and Austin for sure.
Totally, yeah. So, we just kind of just post about our life, our travel here and there, and just business stuff. Like at the end of the day, we just want to educate. We want to, entertain people, and as well just connect.
Yeah.
Overall.
We're pretty funny together.
Yeah, we do like some troll stuff. I think our
Some
last
very
time,
funny stuff.
yeah, we were like doing like a running competition, like on a Nike app, just to kind of record your miles and this and that, and we kind of just like talk smack
Yeah.
every now and then,
Yeah.
and it seems
You
like-
should join Nike Run Club. Come get in there. We're doing 100 miles a month.
yeah,
Good
Actually,
luck.
I haven't gone it yet, but
right.
homeboys did 100 miles. He's trying to do 150.
He owes me a
Nice.
steak
You
dinner.
could do that.
I do owe him a steak.
He's
dinner.
22. He could do that. Easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily.
Easy. How many miles you run a day?
Well, I have like family stuff going on right now, but typically I would do
Well,
like
usually.
5 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need him to have family stuff so I could catch up.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles, man. That's from here to La Jolla.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
100
far.
miles. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
like
7
6
miles.
It's, well, I see from
from here to
yeah.
La Jolla. Yeah, that's far.
About 60 miles from Oceanside to San Diego.
Yeah.
I think.
You're a big OC fan. Any
Oceanside.
as far as for yourself, how can people get a hold of you, Dante?
Official Dante Pena. I'm in Creative REI. We're going to be shooting out more content. We're going to be doing it like in front of the houses. If you guys have any questions, we're open. Just come reach out. If we can help you win in any way, that's like the goal. That's the main goal, is to try to help others win and let us win in between.
Right.
That's awesome. So we got traditional wholesale, got creative, and we got innovation. So these two gentlemen can help you with that. And if you want to be a wholesaler, they can help you on that journey as well. So in the words of Dr. J, just chill till the next episode, and that's a wrap. Thank you guys for being
Yes,
on
sir.
episode 49.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
you.
us.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.